It's the Murphy, Sam, and Jody After the Show podcast. Did I say that wrong?
You said Jody.
Jody.
That's my romantic voice for you, Jody.
Oh, right.
Well, Jody said something earlier that I want to bring up again. You were talking about the bracelet that you were looking at an antique store.
Yeah.
And then the lady there at the store was like pushing Murphy to buy the thing for you.
Right.
Well, she simply suggested that, my lovely redheaded wife over here was interested in the bracelet. And so I
Look,
went
and the
over
deal
there.
is, I really loved it. I would have never asked her to take it out from behind under the glass, which means it was a little bit more higher, caliber than all the other junk. I mean, stuff.
What?
Right.
No, I don't mean junk. You know what I mean. I mean, there's stuff everywhere.
The stuff not under glass.
Well, that's what's great. Look, there's stuff everywhere, so you have to really look carefully, and I did. But when I saw this, I was like, wow, I loved it at first sight. Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted to put it on my wrist. Do I need it? Did I want him to buy it for me right then and there? No. In fact, I felt guilty when we left because I knew she had put the pressure on you. Knowing you, Murphy, you would have loved to have gone back and, bought it sneakily for me. And because that's what you've done in the past, which has been the sweetest thing.
But you see, there's a risk in an antique shop because if you try to go back later and somebody,
you might not
it's not
find
like
it.
they're stocking this stuff. You know what I mean? The one that's there is the one.
It's true.
So I really never felt any pressure at all. Especially when she dropped the price. I was enticed.
That
not
took
pressured.
the pressure off.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you. I really do love it. I can't imagine. I mean, I think I'm going to wear it all the time, except for when if I'm wearing a Bon Jovi T-shirt and tennis shoes, I won't wear it.
But so here's the thing about Jody, just so that you
Dress
know.
down.
I mean, she loves jewelry, but she's never going to be presumptuous. In other words, it's never like demanding, wanting everything that she sees and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's just fun. I know it means something to Jody. Every piece has a story. Just like all, one's from Mad Men, one's from Breaking Bad.
TV show.
They're not. Anyway.
Yeah.
It reminded me of it's something that occurs between Maddie and I, my only daughter.
Yeah, Sam.
She's 14 now, and I heard this going into having daughters, but I will buy her whatever she asks for. I mean,
it's hard to
I mean,
say
as
no.
long as it's not way out of line price wise. But there's times when the weekends with the kids are here, we'll go shopping together, and the boys are like, "Oh, look at this! Can I have this?" And it's like, maybe for your birthday or Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
But if Maddie and I go out, she's like, "Can I have this shirt?" Yeah. I mean, it's almost like it doesn't even get out of her mouth, and it's like, "Yeah, sure, get it." Oh, yeah, get it. And
It's a special thing. She knows.
I don't
too.
have an explanation for it. I don't know if it's because it's my only daughter.
Yeah.
As opposed to dealing with the boys all the time, the nasty boys.
I don't know,
it's
but I
just
can
like-
tell you, I used to be on the receiving end of that.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy, he had a very difficult time saying no to me.
Yeah.
And I just we had that special relationship, and it was beautiful.
And this too, I never had this with any of my 3 wives, where it would be that little suggestion, oh, honey, go ahead and get it.
You never had that?
No. I mean, there were times I would buy things, but it's not like Maddie. I mean, Maddie just has to look at something or touch it, and it's like, it's yours.
That's sweet.
You want a pony? No, I can't do that.
Right.
But so with all the exes, it was sort of like, yeah, thanks for the suggestion. Is that what you mean?
Let me put that one on the list and get back to you.
Yeah, with Taylor and Phoebe, and since I'm a dad to 2 daughters, I don't know any difference, and so it's very easy to
to spoil.
But I actually do draw lines. I mean, there are places where it's like, well, we need to save or something like that. But like you're saying, Sam, if it's something simple and that it's something that they really get enjoyment out of, it's not because they're being purely materialistic.
Right.
There's just some reason. There's a story, there's a connection. It's something we've looked at for a while.
I'm going to say this. This is going to sound odd, and a lot of people will misread this, but I understood it from the first time I ever heard it, because when I was a little girl, I had that sort of situation with my dad. I was daddy's little girl, and he knew it, and I felt cherished by him. I felt it from him that he, I was different to him. I was special to him, and I got that from him. And people will misunderstand it, but it's almost like and maybe it's not the right word, but it's almost flirtatious.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not the right word, but there's something about it that chivalrous maybe is a better word.
Yeah.
You know, oh, would you like this? If I can do this to make you happy, absolutely. Whereas with a boy, you don't feel that immediately need to make him happy with something. You feel more the need to teach him to wait, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is it's not always immediate, and I do think that what we teach as dads there is how I would want both of our daughters to be treated in their permanent relationships. And that's not a flirtatious thing, but it's sort of like they see something they want, they forget about it, and then we surprise them later with it.
That's
Shows
lovely.
You put thought into it. You know what I mean?
I can tell you, not to downgrade the situation with the bracelet the other day, but if I had seen, if the same thing would have happened without the sales lady pressure, I would have thought about that bracelet. I loved it. I would have left there just fine, and I would have maybe in months forgotten about it. And then if you had brought it for Christmas, I would have been a puddle. It would have been I would have been a puddle for you to have remembered that. And you've done that sort of thing in the past. One of my favorite things I own from Murphy. I don't know if you know this story, Sam. Years ago, it's funny, we were at an antique district. We love to do that, just to escape. You never know what you're going to see. It's lovely. And we were looking, and there was this lamp. My butterfly lamp. Have you heard me talk about it before?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a butterfly lamp. And I was like, oh my God, look at that lamp. I love it. It was so cute. But I didn't want it. It's like, no, I don't need it. We're here for the experience. And so that was a weekend. And then the next week you went back and got it. Drove, 30 minutes to go get it. And you gave it to me. I can't remember if it was like that same week for no reason.
Well, I left it sitting out. I plugged it in, and when you got home, it was,
nice.
Yes. You have always.
Standing ovation, everybody.
And there you go. That's another this is another reason that you're successful. We're successful in this marriage. It's because you treat me like you're dating me. I feel like that on the daily.
But it's not just buying it. It was setting it up and leaving it there.
Yeah. It's like when.
Ta-da! There you go.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I'd like to have. To me, that's got to be the fun part of the relationship, right? I mean, I'm not. If you try to outdo yourself every time, and we've been,
don't do
it'll be
that.
20 years we've been married this November. It would be very difficult. So I'm never trying to top myself. I just want to have fun. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll just give you the gift. Sometimes it's just
hang on to it. Sometimes, I mean, it's not always like that. But when it does happen that way, it really stands out. So I felt a little guilty about it because I know she pressured you to buy it for me. But I do understand the whole, I got to get it for her.
It's interesting to me that you felt guilty for it. I mean, I knew that if we'd have said, okay, great, I understand you like it, and then we walk on to the next thing, that you would have probably been fine with that.
Yes.
But
I'm a
she
big girl.
literally wasn't pressuring me. The moment that you said you liked it, and I can read you, Jody. So there's one thing to say, that's cool, that's cute, and it's another thing to go, oh my, when I can tell that Jody really loves something like that, it changes it for me. But there was no way for me to hide that.
Yeah.
I could not, because Phoebe was there with one of her friends, and everybody's shopping for everything, and it's it's an old school antique shop, so that when you bring everything to the front, it's not being scanned. It is literally being handwritten
down.
on
What is this?
on a carbon copy thing where each thing is
Lord.
handwritten out with the number. So there's no way to be
sneaky
and stealth with this.
Right.
And I just could not risk that thing disappearing, I didn't know if it was like all that she was saying it was, meaning that,
Well, it is
the
older.
owner of the store, but it's a
is
beautiful,
old.
yeah.
Wait. What did she say about it?
Well, it's just that she named the designer, and it is that designer because you can see that on here. And they made them in the 70s. It's not it's not being produced
Not
now.
reproduction.
I don't know that it was worth what he paid for it.
Well, I mean, I hope,
But
because
it's not like you-
she showed me a website where it was double what we paid for it.
Yeah.
So from something from 1976.
But we also didn't go to eBay to see what we could
Yeah.
get it for today.
And this piece looks slightly different.
No, it doesn't. It does not. Stop it. Anyway.
Yeah.
No,
She
but
just happened to have this website handy, did she?
See, Sam is the person you should take antique shopping.
truth.
Because, he's
every
gonna
time we go, we
debunk
send you
everything,
pictures.
Yeah.
Every time we go, we think of you. Oh, gotta send Sam that picture. We should all just go together sometime.
Original LED lights from the 1920s.
Yeah.
Something's not right here.
But look, going back to the buying gifts things, that is the key to it. Is just paying attention. Murphy, I had forgotten about that lamp.
The
years
butterfly
ago.
lamp?
I had totally forgotten about it. And I'm, that's why you. whatever, had me in a puddle that day when it was like, oh my
Well, that's
gosh,
sweet.
it's so special to me.
Because the price was
Private
right on
thing.
that one. I'm just
Was it like $10 or something?
I think we're
stupid?
zeroing in on the deciding factor here.
Anyway,
I know she likes it, but
Sam, let's go back to you and your daughter, Maddie. I'm going to tell you something. Whether you've ever talked to her about this or not, she knows it. She knows she has a special power with you. I promise you, daughters know it. If you're lucky enough as a girl to have a dad like that, it's just something that she senses and she knows it. And the good news is, by doing this, you are setting her up for her to expect to be treated this way by a man.
what's good on her part is I don't think that she tries to abuse the privilege.
Nice.
Right.
Because
Good.
there's weekends where it's like, hey, I'm going to go over to this shop and this shop and this shop, things she likes. You want to go? Nah, not really. So
Right.
it's like, okay,
She's not knowing she could rack up.
yeah.
Still, it's lovely. It's special. It's a relationship like no other. You know, Murphy's got it twofold, and they know they can. I mean, every time if I have
they know they can what? Wait, work it or
oh my gosh,
Twofold. He has it threefold.
well,
You're here
with-
too.
I'm not pushing you.
Look at this
though.
bracelet.
But I don't think anybody is, and I don't think they're not the exaggerated movie character. Oh, Daddy, please get me. It's not that at all.
No,
You know, it's just
but they do know. Like one night last week, I had something to go do, a little quick meeting for something I'm involved in. And I was literally going to be gone an hour. Like, I'll be right back. There was food, there was sandwich stuff, there was so much. And I'm leaving, I'm like calling, hey, I'm on my way home. And he's on the way to take them out to eat because mom's not there. And so they start batting their eyelashes. Not
Their
eyebrows.
eyebrows.
Batting their eyelash. Can we go out to eat, Daddy?
Yeah, well, they wanted ramen, and I
That's
could have
when we
done
went.
the 20 cents a bag thing, or
Yeah.
went out to get
Yeah.
the real deal.
I got-
$13 a bowl thing.
I got to meet you guys for that one, which was cool. But, I didn't know that. I should have known without me there for an hour, they would have.
I love my time
Seen
with
the
them. That's my,
opportunity.
and it's, I know we don't have to go out to dinner to do that. We had wonderful social time at the dinner table at home the other night. But that's, to me, it's just about the time. It's about the conversation when we do that, and that's
I
fun.
know. You think it's about the conversation, but they like to go out to eat.
Yeah, I know.